Actually, let me make sure. How's that? Let me come around here and check.
I don't know whether or not this part.
Oh, I think that was
That only happens when we start ends.
yeah, so this is that point I was talking about. We moved over to the quadrant. So click it. It's going to have a grip edit. You come over to the quadrant of the circle. There you go. Yep. Anyone else? Yes. So, polyline. Where all those diagonals are, they should be arcs. Where all those diagonals are, they should be arcs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a edit to the polyline and pull that. First I'm going to change it to an arc, and then I'm going to set down the grip on top of this circle. Looking at your O snaps. So are there any O snaps you could use that would find a point along that circle? What are the options? It's not an end. It's not a, circles don't have midpoints.
The tangent?
There is one called tangent. We could try that. I'm going to suggest we go ahead and use nearest.
Okay.
Nearest
yeah.
is sort of like AutoCAD's best guess that you're clicking on something. It will click on something, but you don't agree to know where. It's not a no snap I use very often. Right now it's going to be really handy. So I'm going to turn intersection off and turn nearest on. I'm going to zoom in and select that polyline. You'll notice that the grip that's in the middle of the straight part has a rectangular shape to it. If I hover that grip and say convert to arc, it's now following my cursor, and I can go nearest. It's going to click right on that curve. Hover, convert to arc, click on the arc. Do that all the way around. Hover, convert to arc, click on the arc.
Convert to arc.
Oops. Do that again. Convert to arc, click on the arc. And hit escape when I'm done.
Can I see that corner intersection point you're talking about, sir? Yours? Thank you.
Mistake I did. Is there any way I can fix it at this point?
What kind of mistake is it?
I put the two circles on the bottom part of the F on the wrong line.
On the wrong lines.
They're too far over. So do I have to completely
You
redo
can't
it?
get an F. Ugh.
I know.
Right? That's my joke. Let's see.
So
She was
here,
saving us.
here.
So yeah, you can use a stretch command.
Okay.
All you did
See if you
was
can figure it out.
You couldn't see the it's the hard drive and one.
You want to select now the stretch. Remember, you have to do a crossing window. So click up here, and then click down here. Okay, that didn't get them. So click here again.
No.
Go up here that way. That's the way we need to do it, right? That got all these points,
Okay.
right? How far do you want to move them?
To this point.
Okay, so you're enter because you're done selecting. Pick your base point,
Which would be.
and you've got a nearest on, which is dangerous.
So I put like intersection.
Yep, that'll work better. Turn nearest on. There you go. From where to where? From there?
Here.
Yep. Back to.
Here.
Yep. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
Oh, it's easy.
It was easy. That's worth actually showing everybody. So when she originally drew it, I'm going to screw it up and then I'll fix it. Oops, she drew it wrong. Not like that. She drew it wrong a different way. But I'm like, oh man, I'm like 3 units to the north of where I need to be. It's too tall. I was like, she's like, can I fix it or do I have to start all over? Never start all over if you know how to fix it. And I'm looking at that going, well, just stretch. Simple. STR enter, and we select our group and hit enter, and then we pick a base point, and I'm going to come down 3. Yay. Right? We can square it up. So I introduced you guys, or reintroduced you guys to this idea of grid snaps. And then I said turn it off, and a lot of people didn't, or they clicked it twice and turned it back on. So pay attention to these things, and you can use them to your advantage. And if you don't, it's at your peril. You're going to find problems crop up that you don't need. Nearest O-snap, same thing. You want to be very careful using that O-snap because you'll end up getting close and no banana. Okay? This is a good time to save, so I'm going to do a file, save as. I'm going to save this just to my desktop, and I'm going to call it AF Quiz.
Just a space in between?
Yeah. All right. Am I still recording? I think I am. Yeah. Okay, so now it's time to run the fill command.
What did you call this?
AF Quiz. The fill command uses the hatch, well, it's the hatch command, not the fill command. But the hatch command will run the fill. And if we look at this, remember how hatch works. It's going to ask for an internal area or a boundary. We have a great boundary because it's all one polyline. You can do it that way. If you're going to click internal points, how many internal points do you have? A lot, right? There's like one little tiny, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like a dozen, right? That would be a pain to select them all. What I'm going to do is freeze the guides. By freezing them, are they selectable?
No.
No. Remember, that's way back from the beginning. This ties together all the videos that we've watched so far. So I'm relying on you knowing that information, or at least being able to remember it. But this is a boundary, and it's uninterrupted by subset boundaries. So I'm going to switch my current layer to the fill layer. I'm going to say H enter, and I'm going to use a solid hatch. I'm going to pick it in the ribbon. Pick a point inside and hit enter, and I'm done. Yay! That took almost an hour, sorry. Well, 45 minutes.
Pick internal point. Is that what you?
Uh-huh.
Pick internal point.
No.
Okay.
If you got it wrong, you can back up. When you're done, you hit enter and you're done. I'm going to turn the guidelines back on so they're visible and save this work.
What was the pattern here?
Solid.
I'm trying to
How do we get rid of, for like the ends I had to go farther in the circle, how do I make them so it's a straight line?
There are ways you can add a vertices, but it's a serif. I'm going to let it be a pointy serif. That's okay. Yeah. Same thing's true with the A. I'm going to give you an A in a minute. It's the same conditions. You can either chop it right at the boundary of the box or make that serif come to a final point. Either way. Did you have a question? Question? What's up?
touchscreen. Yes.
You've got select object instead of pick point. So the object, you say select object, you pick the boundary. If you say pick points, then you pick the point. Okay. If the guidelines were not frozen and I said pick internal points, it would find those guidelines and I would need to pick each little patchwork of that F. That would be a pain in the butt. Totally unnecessary. Just freeze the layer, you only have to pick once, right, instead of 15 times. Okay, this is saved. It's on my desktop, and I'm going to print this. You do not need to print it, but you do need to know how to print it and how to set up the print, because when you do the A, I need hard copy. Okay, so you can follow me right along with this. And then you could do the same thing when you come to the A. You just don't have to hit the button at the end.